Welcome back to this random kitchen in my temporary home this week. I am Brittany Bass, a full-time passenger seat princess and operations manager of Matt Becker Fishing. For those of you who don't know me, I am also Matt Becker's girlfriend. He is a professional bass fisherman with Major League Fishing on the Bass Pro Tour, which is actually why I am always in random kitchens. We travel around the whole country basically for bass fishing. So we are in our full swing of our second year on this tour, and with this channel and podcast I get to bring you some of the best wives, fiancés, and girlfriends, even some moms on to talk about their lives, all the behind the scenes goodness, their superstitions, everything that goes into making a tournament season great. I also get to show you a little bit of like travel vlogs and kind of just the behind the scenes stuff that goes on throughout this season. So I am doing one episode a week through this tournament season, so 2024 tournament season, and this is episode 17 of Random Kitchens. Welcome back, everyone. As you can see, or kind of see, it's a different angle. I am still sitting in our kitchen in Florida, which means we are still at the Heavy Hitters event, which means Matt is fishing the knockout round and, fingers crossed, makes it through to the championship round, which is tomorrow or today as you guys are listening to this. So when this episode airs, championship round will be going on MLF Live. It is all day. Hopefully we have a camera for some of it. Hopefully we are there. That will all be huge because today's biggest bass is worth $30,000, but tomorrow's biggest bass is worth $100,000. And also the winner gets $100,000. So there's two things. It's 10 guys. So basically, you could have a 20% chance of getting one or a 10% chance of getting both. Those odds might not be right, but somewhere in there it is going to go down. So tune in if you want to watch it. It's very fun. But today is a special day because I am the only one in the kitchen, as you can see, which means some behind the scenes footage. So with this podcast, we're going to go through some tournament logistics because this one's different. A little bit of a travel vlog because this tournament is different. And we'll find out who some of the anglers' #1 fan is. So because it is a specialty event, there is no entry fees and no points associated with the event. So it's really just kind of like fun, and the guys are going out to just get as big of a bass as they can and earn that big bass money, but also compete to win the actual event. So, but it's just kind of fun. There's no real strings or anything attached, so you can kind of relax through it, which means we get to do some fun extra things and some different fun things happen. So, starting with tournament logistics, this tournament is kind of like the team series in that the boys or the guys are in the league boats. So they don't use their own boat for this. They use their own boat during practice, but not during the actual tournament. And then they're also towed to launch in the league trucks. So I do not take him to launch back in or get him out, which is super odd for me. But it is exciting in its own right. So because of this, some funny things kind of have to happen, which means every night we take his boat and take all of his tackle and put it in the league boat for him to use the next day. And then every day after he's off the water, we take all of the stuff out of his boat and put it back in our boat because someone else has to use the boat the next day. So the first 2 days, he was in and out of the Yeti boat, and today he's in the Kubota boat, so we will find out which boat he is in for the championship round this afternoon. So they might let them keep the boat, but I don't know, they might like toss it, change it all up. But it makes for a very funny morning trying to get, used to new trolling motors. There's different graphs, but it is awesome. And I love that it's different type of event. I love that it keeps Matt on his toes. I love that it just kind of adds, you know, a whole different thing that you have to deal with and like learn to use or adjust to in the middle of the tournament. It's just kind of fun and a just different experience. So we, like I said, load all his tackle in the night before, and then we take it out after the event the next day. But also, like I said, I don't have to put him in, so in the mornings I have been able to watch the sunrises. And here in Florida, they're absolutely beautiful. So we don't actually leave, or they don't launch until 7:30, but we get down a little bit early, so we've been able to watch the sunrises together, which has been awesome. And then my tournament routine is right after they launch, I go back to the truck and I do social content stuff that needs to be done, set up for the day, and then normally I call my mom. So either I'm waking her up, she's already up, or she's headed into work. But normally I call her and just let her know, you know, everybody got off okay, but then also, you know, we are mom and daughter, so we just gossip for a little bit. And then I love local breakfast spots. So normally I head to somewhere to get breakfast or coffee. While I do make breakfast for the guys or whoever is staying at the house, which this week is Matt. And I also make a sandwich for Mike Jenkins, who's in charge of the officials, the boats, the trucks, all of the jazz. So this week I've been making one for him too. But while I do make the breakfast, I like to go to breakfast. It's kind of my little piece in the morning while I get the social stuff done and get him, you know, he's going off and all of that kind of gets set for the day. That's like where I get set. So I found this awesome place down here. So if you're in Kissimmee, definitely go to Susanna's Cafe. It is awesome. It's delicious. They have all their ingredients are fresh because it's a smaller kitchen. So when I was talking to the owner, she's like, we just can't, you know, hold all this extra stuff. So when they run out, they run out, but it's always fresh and delicious. And they also have like the coolest way to get coffee. So I drink black coffee, as you probably guessed, but I drink black coffee, and they have, it's homemade pottery that is basically like a kettle with a drip, coffee drip topper, and it's all attached. It's one thing, and it's beautiful. It's awesome, but they sell them and they make them. So that's been really fun. I have very much enjoyed going there. I go every morning, no guilt over that. So I go there, and then I head back to the house to do editing or run errands or whatever really needs to be done that day, get dinner ready. But this week it has been a little bit of all of that. So today was an edit day. But this week, like I said, super fun, way more relaxed. So we have been going out to dinner instead of me cooking on the tournament days. I cooked on practice because it's just too late. But going out to dinner otherwise, and having some little date nights and some extra fun adventures added in. So on the way down, Matt and I were able to stop at a little lake and go fishing. Well, I did catch the first bass. He caught the biggest bass, so I had a couple of little ones, and he had some big ones, which, I mean, he should, right? Professional angler and all, so, but it was fun. It was beautiful, a nice little welcome into Florida. And then on his first off day, we got tickets to the PBA Championship, which just happened to be here in Kissimmee. So you might ask, what on earth is the PBA Championship? Professional Bowling Championship. Yes, bowling. You heard that right. So the guys have gotten, at the BPT house, have gotten very into bowling, and we were watching it at home and heard that their finals was going to be in Kissimmee. So we got tickets. It just happened to be on Matt's off day. We got bleacher seating. Fabulous. But it was so much fun. We got to watch the semifinals and then the finals. And we got to see our two favorite personalities, our two favorite bowlers, which is Kyle Troop. And he's the one with the big, he's like Bob Ross meets like Lil Dicky, like big, huge hair. a big afro, and Iceman, which is Jesper Svetsson, I think is how you say his last name, but he goes by Iceman, to the bowling community, and it was awesome. We found out that they were actually best friends, and they were competing against each other in the semifinals. Iceman won, so he went on to the finals, and he competed against Bo Kroll, which Bo Kroll, it's like fastest to 2 wins, and Bo Kroll ended up, he lost the first one, so Iceman won the first one, and he won the second, and then they did like a basically sudden death, and Kroll won that. So he took home the belt, which is crazy because we are also down here at Heavy Hitters competing for a belt, which, again, it is so funny. It's so awesome to see similarities in different sports, but just crazy. We were like, what? So it's awesome. So that was super, super, super fun. And then that was on Sunday. That was his first off day. His second off day was actually a Tuesday. And on the Tuesday, we went down to this lake. It's like an hour and a half. So it was actually yesterday. We went down to this lake, and Yamamoto set up this awesome content shoot for us. So they set up this shoot with us and Travis Hunter. So Travis Hunter, if you don't know him, plays under Deion Sanders, which is Coach Prime for the Colorado Buffaloes. So not only does he do that, but he loves to fish. So super, super fun. Him and Matt went out on the boat and shot some content for MLF and Yamamoto, but just had a blast. And he was super, super down to earth. While the guys didn't catch too many fish, they definitely had a good time, and we are super, super excited to see all that content, but to do it again. So hopefully we'll be able to do that again soon. And then this morning, I did something kind of fun. I went around at lunch and asked some of the guys, because I couldn't get to all of them. The way that they set up their boats is a little bit weird. They're not all on the dock. Some of them just float. So I couldn't get to all of them, but I asked some of the guys who their #1 fan is, and these were their responses. Matt Becker, who is your #1 fan?
You don't want to know who my #1 fan is. It's this lady that just travels around and follows me everywhere.
She what?
Yep. I think her name might be Brittany. I'm not really sure.
My #1 fan has got to be my wife, Allison.
My #1 fan is going to be my wife. You know, just those are the people that we depend on to be out here. And hey, I'm her #1 fan, and I believe that in my heart she'd be my #1 fan too.
All right, Kevin, who is your #1 fan?
Well, I think my biggest fan is my wife for sure. She obviously, you know what it takes to do this and live this lifestyle, and she's done it for 33 years for me. So I don't have anybody that supports me more than that. But I have a lot of fans out there in fishing myself. But I would say President Bush is one of my favorite guys that I've ever got to fish with. So
That's awesome. Yeah. Oh my gosh. All right, Marty, who is your #1 fan?
Gosh, my #1 fan would probably be, The Rock. He keeps up with me, watches me a lot. Big fan of mine. Hey, dude, I appreciate it. Stick with us. We're going to catch them.
Who is your #1 fan?
Jacob Wheeler.
Who is your #1 fan? Keith Poche.
I actually have 3. It's my wife and my 2 girls, Ava and Isabella.
That's easy, and I know it's the most common answer. But if it's not Deanna Coulter, I don't know who it is. She's at work watching it every day. So, hey, you need insurance, call Deanna Coulter. How's that for a plug?
Perfect. Who is your number one fan?
Oh, 100% my wife, Angie. I've been doing this professionally for 24 years, and you know, what they do behind the scenes is they don't get enough credit. You know, the stability that they keep at the house while we're away from home, and you know, some of the wives travel with the anglers if they're fortunate enough. We have 3 younger kids, so she traveled earlier in her career with us, and those were some of the best times of our lives. And now the kids are too involved with stuff, and she stays at home and makes sure everything goes smoothly. Even when times aren't going smooth, she makes me feel like things are going smooth so I can do my job out here. So she's as big, if not the most important thing in my life, and a huge part of my success and being able to do this for 24 years.
So while I couldn't get to everyone, I do plan to add this question and some other questions into some future podcasts because I think it was too fun and I love their responses. But I also love that it shows a different side to the anglers than you typically see on social media, and just too fun. So I am going to add some of that in moving forward. After this event, I'm actually going to see my sister. She lives in Florida, which is awesome, but that means next week's video is going to be a little wonky because of travel plans. So if you follow Random Kitchens Podcast on Instagram, I'll keep you up to date on what next week is looking like. But basically, I fly in on Monday, have to pack up the whole house for a month to be gone, and we leave on Thursday, which is typically when these drop. So it is crazy, but it's also good news because we are going to be gone for a month. We're headed to Chihuahua, and I have some interviews already set up for that event. Then we go to Champlain and James River, and I have interviews set up there too. So I'm very excited for the next, round of meeting the ladies, and I'm very excited you guys get to meet them too. But next week is going to be a little wonky. So just follow the Instagram page. I'll kind of let you know what the plan is and what's going on. But that is our show this week. Thank you so much for being here and following this journey, and sticking along with me, commenting, liking. I see it all. I love it. Again, hit the subscribe button if you're on YouTube, and the follow button if you're listening on any podcasts. Leave any likes and comments below, but also if you have any questions, if you want to see something or have an idea, please post it. I take them all in. I love them, and I'll try to make it happen. But like I said, I plan to release 1 episode a week throughout the rest of this season, so the 2024 season. Make sure you subscribe to follow along, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.